What's up guys, it's your Supah Playaz back at it again, and because it's a viewer's demand, people have been asking us where's the deck profile, and we got it. And looking at it, it's Bardock's crew deck profile. I've been playing this leader, and honestly this archetype is so much fun. There's so many combos you can do with this deck, and the consistency is very like on point. Like I can't even say it. It's so consistent. It's so much fun. It's just a lot of fun. Like I don't know, I can't say anything else. From Clash of Fates, I think this is one of the best decks that came out of it besides the Frieza one. But this one, by far, hands down, I recommend people play this leader. You'll have so much fun. And let's get to it. Those of you that don't know what Bardock does, this is what he does. So his auto is Burst 2. You must place the top two cards from the top of your deck in the drop area to activate this skill. And when this card attacks leader card, draw one card, and this card gets 5,000 power for duration of the turn. So pretty much this guy does not have to be awakened to become a threat to your opponent. You're constantly drawing, and you're constantly being that a 15k beat stick, and it's pressuring your opponent. And this guy's amazing. And when you're at 4 lives or less, you may choose up to 2 of your energies and switch them to active. And this is where it gets like super duper powerful. And this is what he does. So if you have Sparking 5, so you have to have at least 5 in the drop area in order for this effect to resolve. And when this card attacks, draw one card, and this card gets 5,000 power for duration of the turn. So this guy becomes 5,000 power. He's so powerful. He becomes a 20k beater. And not only that, and when this card is attacked, if a Bardock crew card is in your drop area, you may choose one card from your life and place it in the drop area. If you do, negate the attack. So pretty much this guy could stop a lot of attacks. You do have cards that pretty much are very defensive in this deck, as well as negates in the deck. And if all else fails, you have his auto to pretty much protect you. So yeah, you take a crit, like you crit yourself, you take a life and put it in the drop area, but it stops the attack, which is phenomenal. So it stops him from unyielding, it stops him from sense of being, and this deck is built to pretty much kill Storm if you actually run into somebody, or even someone that plays the Frieza swap mechanic. This pretty much helps you stop a lot of multiple attacks, especially with that Frieza that's a 5-drop. So powerful. And let's get to this deck profile. And it's a great leader. I think it's one of the best ones from Clash of Fates besides Frieza. And so we do run 4 Burnish bonds. Borgos, this guy's amazing. When you play this card, draw one card, and once per turn during your opponent's turn, if your opponent switches their energy to active using a non-awakened skill, choose up to one of your opponent's energy and place it in the drop area. So if they're pretty much using Sense of Being or Unyielding, or anything that's restanding their energy that isn't their awakened effect, they have to lose an energy, which is a great card. And not only that, he's a Bardock's crew, so it works very well in this archetype and with this leader, and it's just a phenomenal card. I consider this deck the Storm Killer personally, just because every card in here just has an answer to Storm, or even Frieza. So it's a very powerful deck. So I highly recommend people playing it. It's the most fun I've had with a deck, at least with the most recent leaders. I think Clash of Fates is a great set, so pick it up if you haven't. It's awesome. And a huge shout out to Ultimate Guard for these katana sleeves that make these cards look amazing. And so we run 4 Planetary, Invader, Tora. So when you play this card, choose up to 1 Bardock's crew in your drop area and add it to your hand. So you're constantly using the burst effect from his unawakened side to want to mill the Bardock's crew cards, because you'll eventually have him in hand, or you'll have him in hand. Like when you mulligan, you want to have him at least. You get your cards back to your hand that happens to be Bardock's crew, and it could be any Bardock's crew card, just because it's not level restricted, so you could get a 1-drop, 3-drop battle card, and it's awesome. And even if it's Tora, he's in the drop area, you could constantly, this is what I was doing in certain battles, where this guy's in the drop area, I play him, get him, and then use the energy to play another one, and you pretty much swarm the field with the 1-drops. And they're constantly recycling, so it's awesome. So 4 Toras, and then we run 4 Planetary Invader Fasha. This card's amazing because it helps you look at the top 5 cards of your deck and choose up to 1 Bardock crew among them and add it to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. So you're constantly searching, and you're constantly spamming out with 1-drops. And this is what I love about this deck, is that every turn is a play, and you always need to do that. In this game, I feel like every turn needs to be optimized as much as you can, and this leader really capitalizes on that, especially because of the 1-drops. And we do run 2 Awakening Talon Pan. She is Bardock's great granddaughter, obviously. But what's great about this leader is that we do have other Awakening cards besides Pan, but I think 2 is perfect because just in case you're in a sticky situation, you can't find a way to awaken, Pan is always going to be in your hand. She bounces back at the end of your turn, and you always, whenever she attacks, you take 1 life. So that's awesome. I really like this card. And that's why I run 2 of them, because we do have other cards that do help us awaken. And we do run the Great Saiyan Man, which is Bardock's grandson. And then we do run the 4 super combos because it's Sparking 5, and you're constantly milling the top 2 cards because of burst, and you will have the 5. So that's why we run this. And this is all like pretty much his children and like his teammates. It's a pretty cool deck. I really like this deck, guys. So you guys should pick it up, and it's awesome. Make it. We do run Son Goku Striving to be the best. Like I said, it stops Storm and it stops the Frieza mechanic. He's barrier, and your opponent can battle cards with cost of 2 or less can attack. So that's amazing. This guy stops pretty much this Frieza swap engine, and it puts them in the tracks. They don't have, if they don't have an out, they're stuck. So it stops a lot of the Frieza engine or the swap mechanic itself from attacking you, and you start surviving turns, because honestly this deck is very defensive, and I love it. And Burnish Bonds Shugesh, this guy's amazing just in case you have an awaken and you want to draw cards. This guy's amazing just because when this card attacks, you may draw 1 card. If you do not use this, or you did not draw with this card skill, this card gains double strike, so he could also be a finisher. And he's a Bardock's crew. A lot of these cards are Bardock's crew, and it's just constant like searching and combo powers you could use, and all of these cards are pretty much 5k, which helps it you recycle a lot, combo, and then play Tora. It's just very helpful. It's just amazing. The combos are just amazing. And then we do run 4 Burnish Bonds Fasha. She's critical permanent. If a Bardock crew card is in your drop area, reduce the cost of this card by 1, so she becomes a 2-drop critical, 15k, and activate in your during your main. Place this card in its owner's drop area and choose 1 Bardock crew card in your battle area and switch it back to active. So you pretty much could pick any of your Bardock cards, whether it's this guy, you could pretty much draw again, or do another double strike if you can, go for a game that way. And she's very helpful because of that. And so you do that, and then we do run 4 Burnish Bonds Tora. This card's amazing just because it has the same effect as Fasha. Reduces cost if you have a Bardock's crew in your drop. Reduce the cost of this card by 1, and then activate during your main. Play 3 energies and place this card in its owner's drop area and choose up to 1 final strike Bardock from your deck or drop area, and then play it and shuffle your deck if you look through it. So that's a very crucial card, especially if you have the 5-drop Bardock. And then we do have, for Awakening, we do have 4 at all cost Vegetas. I know they are expensive, so you could substitute it for Tapion, the 3-drop, if you can't access at all cost Vegeta. I know this guy's a bit pricey, but like I said, if you don't have access to him and funds are scarce, go with the Tapion. I'll put, if you want to know which one, I'll put it in the description below. But like I said, substitute this for Tapion if this is too expensive. So yeah, so that guy's amazing at all costs. And then we have 2 Final Strike Bardock. This card you can only play 1 in your battle area, and when this card is switched to from rest mode to active mode, if your leader card is a Bardock's crew card, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and places it in the bottom of their deck. So this guy's amazing. He's barrier, and if you switch into active, your opponent loses a card, which a lot of these cards pretty much do that. It's awesome. And we do have the SPR version and the SR version. If you haven't seen them, they are phenomenal. So I only run 2 because you don't really need 3, because you can only play 1 at a time anyway. But it's very, it's consistent. You'll always bring it out because it goes to the drop area. And we do run Sensu. Such a powerful card, defensive. I use it more defensive than offensive. So I run 4 Sensu Beans, great card. And then obviously we run the best negate, at least the blue negate that exists. It's Dimension Magic. It's powerful. You could take a life to help you awaken. Like I said, there's a lot of cards that help you self-awaken. If you can't get Vegeta or Pan, this card will help you if you have the 5 cards in your drop and use the Sparking 5 ability where you could take 1 life, add it to your hand, and play this card for free. So that's amazing. So that's why we run that card. And we do run 3 Tora's red armband because, like I said, you're constantly putting back the 5-drop Bardock to active, so your opponent's always losing a card and is very aggressive. And if your leader card is Bardock's crew, choose up to 1 Tora in your drop area and send it to the warp. Draw 4 cards, choose up to 1 Final Strike Bardock in your battle area and switch it to active, and it gains 10,000 power and double strike for duration of the turn. And at the end of the turn, choose up to 1 of your energies and switch it to active mode. So what's great about that is that you get your 5-drop Bardock and you give him double strike, and what's cool is that he's actually barrier, which is phenomenal, and double strike is always going to go through, so they can't Shigesh pop you or anything like that. So he gets a 10k boost and your opponent loses a card. So the only way to stop him is by negating or Mafuba or anything like that. And then to finish off the deck, we do run 2 Hidden Power E Supreme Kai, just because sometimes you want to go for a game and you do have that critical Fasha. So this is 2 attacks that are 2 crit, 2 double strike crit pretty much. Or you could use your Tora to go for a game. They become 2 drops, and he's barrier, which is phenomenal. That helps out, so they can't Shigesh pop you, and it's just, the plays are so consistent, and I love this deck. So yeah, there you guys have it. So this is the viewer's choice. Everybody kept asking for it, and we do have a reverse foil for you guys, but this is one of the best leaders I played so far in this set, besides Frieza. It's so much fun. I say pick it up and make it. I'm telling you, hands down, you enjoy it. And shout outs to Ultimate Guard for these katana sleeves. So once they come out in February, pick them up. I'll also put them in the description below. But there you guys have it. So like, comment, subscribe. And from your super player Tony G, y'all stay super.